Hello, lovelies. Today it's Tuesday, May the 6th, 2025, and we are in a waxing moon in Capricorn at 7 degrees at the moment, and we have the sun in Taurus. And just realizing I need to change something. Yeah, just taken my guard out in my mouth that I forgot I had in. So that's easier. I can speak easier now. So today it's a portal day, and I've been intending to make a video for Yellow Sun since the beginning of it, but a lot has been happening here in my life, as always. And so this is the first day that I really had available to sit down and do a video. So today we are on day 4 of Yellow Sun, and that is blue self-existing night. And as I said, it's a portal day, Akashic record, and the planet is Saturn. And Saturn's going to be big news this year because it's going into Aries. So lots happening in Aries energy, including this whole 260-day cycle. Aries is the explosive energy of the warrior, and it's the extreme yang energy. So we're really focusing on creating this whole new aspect of us. And the more that you know about astrology generally, and the more that you know about your personal astrology, this can be really useful for understanding how the universe is creating a resonance, a vibration, a framework that we are a part of. So again, it's changing the language, changing the understanding. We are the universe. And so whatever is going on in the universe, we are co-creating with it. It's not anything that's being done to us. Um, Although it may feel like that at times, it is a very intense time. So we've got the sun in Taurus, which is earth, the goddess energy, practical, down to earth, nice and easy, slow energy at times. And then if you look at the metaphor of a charging bull, then that's a very different energy. So it's powerful, isn't it? If you imagine a charging bull. And red flags really trigger bulls. And so we are learning that red flags really trigger us as well. And so over the last 4 days, you will have had several events with this energy. In particular, probably today's the 6th. Pluto went retrograde on the 4th. And so that was Sunday. And so you may have been experiencing huge changes with this Pluto retrograde. So it's literally meaning we're going to go over old ground. Anything with a retrograde, it's taking us back. And this is taking us back for a good while. And this good while is going to last until October the 13th, I think. So we're going to have plenty of chance to revisit what needs to go, basically, what needs to go now. And we're building also to a full moon in Scorpio, which is going to be super intense on the 12th. So let's have a look. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We're going to be in planetary moon on that day. And we've just completed planetary moon 28-day cycle. And we actually started spectral moon 28-day, which is really the letting go moon. That was on the last day of the blue hand, which was blue cosmic storm, which was also a portal day. There we go. That's what we just completed, and that's when yellow sun began the day after. And so over that previous 28 days, we were looking at what was manifest as to our authenticity, being a beacon of light, and being able to express ourselves honestly. And now we're looking at the next 28 days of spectral moon to let go of what isn't authentic and what is holding us down, basically. I've just finished the journal of Shine, so the next 13 days, and I was late doing that, so my apologies. If you want that and you haven't got that, please do let me know and I will get that to you. So what I've done in the final 13 days is I've tried to cross-reference all of this energy with specific dates. So Red Dragon, the opening here, this whole cycle, remember, is in Aries and it began on the 25th of March. Solar moon, that's the 9th moon, day 19. Sun in Aries, moon in waning Aquarius at 13 degrees. So Red Dragon 13-day cycle lasted from the 25th of March to the 6th of April. And on the 30th of March, Neptune went into Aries. So this huge power planet went into this fire, and previously it's been in Pisces. And so now we're seeing the steam starting to rise, really, around, being plunged into, it's like going into a forge, really. Or imagine, when you're tempering a sword and it's red hot in order for you to change the shape of the metal and make it stronger. And then you're going to plunge it into a pool of water. So it's that whole process, really, of alchemy and how this sword is going to create truth. I remember in the calendar, we have got Red Dragon and we've got White Mirror. Both have the planet Neptune. And so White Mirror is really connected to the sword of truth and just cutting through all those delusions and illusions. So it's a very challenging time because that is what's happening. And my goodness, that's been happening in my world massively. And I don't really know how that's going to work out at the moment. And I think a lot of people are in that same situation where the cosmos has a plan and we have a plan as part of that. And we have to align with the program. And wherever we're not aligning with the program, wherever we're trying to stay stuck in that old comfort zone, that isn't going to happen. And I've experienced this many times in my life, and it's uncomfortable. I've got Taurus moon. So Taurus moon really likes to have things unchanged in a lot of ways in the home, practical, grounded, and pretty much staying fixed because it's a fixed sign. I like comfort. I like a routine every day in some ways, but then other aspects of my chart do not want that. So having Leo in my personality, in my sun sign, also a fixed sign, also Aquarius in rising, also a fixed sign. So I have quite a lot of paradoxes. I want to say paradoxes, really. And that's very apparent with my higher self and where my higher self is trying to guide me to do something. And then I've got all the programming from the past where part of me is trying to risk assess. So that's always challenging. Hey, so lots of interruptions today. So that's interesting again, at what's happening. Okay, so today is a very significant day for becoming self-existing. And this is the whole format of Yellow Sun. We're now seeing the manifestation of how much light we hold, how much we are becoming a conscious dreamer, how aware we are of what creates what in our life and what we're not aware of. Hey, we don't know what we don't know. And, this is why we're here in a process. So today is a really important day to focus on how free we are. And I always see that as being emotionally free so that I can be very proactive, I can be grounded, I can be centered as much as possible. Unless there's a real danger to my life, I don't want to be running around like a bull to a flag. Um, but I also want to be aware of the red flags and to know that when I'm doing some repeating behavior, that is not going to end well for me. That has been coming up for me big time, and I'm sure for many of you as well. Historically, there's big patterns around 2008, 2009, the last financial crash, again tied into the bull energy. Going on a trip to New York today, and last time I was there was a big story happening around that. I actually went for my cousin's wedding, and so back then I was a property developer, and there was a huge story for me going on around the house that I was developing at the time. So I can see lots of parallels, and this is the whole point of doing the journal, is it helps you to become very aware, which can be helpful as well if you're feeling unsafe, triggered, worried, um, not sure about what to do with whatever is going on for you. And I offer you again that the more that you start to do this process for yourself and the more that you start to become an expert on yourself rather than everybody else, everything else, this will be fundamentally easier when these challenges come up because we are going to get challenged. This is why we're here, is to evolve the planet through evolving ourselves. That's how everything comes into fruition, into manifestation. It comes through us and our actions. And so the more that we become grounded and emotionally resilient and intelligent and change our behavior as well, because most of our ancestors maybe did not have that capability and did not have that insight or awareness. We are the latest generation of that. So this is where we really need to get focused. So on the 27th of March, which again is a very significant day for us that we didn't know that at the time, we are 20 days on now. Check if I'm saying that right. No, we are 40 days on. Sorry, 40 days on because we have done two 20-day cycles since then. So again, if you look at the numbers across the top, they go 1, 2, 3. So they miss, this is a spiral because they're going down the process of 20 days. So it's 1, 8. And that's very interesting when you look at that process around the numbers. So you initiate something, then you integrate something, then you look at the emotional story, then you look at how you're going to go to the next level through alchemy. What's manifest? What's self-existing? Do a comparison there. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to master? How do I need to get clear? How do I get in balance? What is shifting? And am I resonating with the new plan of the universe? Or what's resonating that doesn't feel good? I need to make a cosmic correction, heal, and let it go. So this is the key. And each 13-day process has a day 4, and that's your magical tip for today. Go and look that up. If you've got the journal, you've got notes, maybe just 1 or 2, maybe you've done the whole lot, maybe you don't understand some of it, that's okay, it doesn't matter, because it works in a spiral. And so we had 13 days, 25th of March to the 6th of April. Look at what you were doing then. This is why I've done the journal so you can cross-reference. Then we had White Wizard. So then we are refining that first 13 days, 7th of April to the 19th of April. Think back to what you were doing then. That came in Planetary Moon Day 4 until Planetary Moon Day 16 in the 28-day cycle. Mercury went into Aries. So we're getting new ideas downloaded from our higher self if we're listening. And we also had Easter during that time. We had Mars in Leo at that time. And we had, again, waning moon. Sorry, I missed out. In Red Dragon, we had a new moon in Aries and a solar eclipse on the 29th. So that was very powerful. And so during White Wizard, we had the full moon in Libra, which culminated that whole beginning and who am I, who are we, how do I do relationship. And then we went into Blue Hand 13-day cycle where we are going to heal whatever came up and shape our destiny by reaching our avatar potentiality. That was the 20th of April to the 2nd of May, and that was the Easter resurrection. Spectral Moon Day 1, as I said at the end. So now we've got the 3rd of May, yellow sun in Taurus, and Pluto went retrograde, as I said, on the 4th of May. So as we get to yellow sun, and we get to yellow sun on the second 20-day cycle. So the first cycle is about initiation, what the Great Mother is bringing us, and how we need to let go of our survival issues. Then in the second column, we go into integration. And the second column really is about new learning. It's about the emotional story. What do I need to integrate? How do I integrate it? Is through healing, because anything that's a red flag, anything that's a trigger is an old story, not only your story, but your ancestors' story as well. And when we get down to the bottom, we are in yellow sun, which is a clear sign here. And a clear sign means there's a story there that needs to get clear, a shadow story, several shadow stories, so that we can do that integration process. But by the time we've done these first 2, we know a lot about ourselves and what's happening to us in our holograph in the world. And, remember, one of the most important magical instructions is to know thyself, because the only thing that you can really change is yourself. And you want to be alchemically coming into your masculine, sorry, I'm struggling getting my words out today, into your masculine and feminine energy in balance in yourself, instead of playing those energies out with other people. And so now we're on day 4 in the third column. And the third column is always about alchemy. And we're changing that emotional story, the lunar story, the number 2. So this can be directly connected to your moon in astrology. It can also be connected to your Mayan moon. And when that doesn't change. That's the same throughout your life. And looking down, we have some more Akashic records coming up. So we have 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, planetary moon. So just after that full moon day, where you're going to see where you are emotionally and how grounded you are, those 2 days after, we're going to have some Akashic record there. So prepare yourself. We're culminating in yellow cosmic human. And so we're going to see what needs to shift for us as a human being before we go into refining this whole 52-day cycle, because we're going to go into the Skywalker next. So this should be interesting, for me, being in New York. I'm becoming really good at spotting the patterns and what's coming up. And I don't always know, how it's going to play out, obviously, or why, but I can see the thread. And so for me, it's like trying not to let my head come up with all these assumptions. And that's what our mind likes to do, is to try and work it all out, especially if it's something that's creating worry for us around, say, finances, relationships. And, because we're in Taurus, which is the second zodiac sign, power issues, power struggles. That's what this axis is in one part. It's also, what do I need to let go of? Survival issues in Scorpio, and very tied in to what happened in 2020 with the pandemic. How do I let go of that energy so that I can manifest something else? And remember, we're not here to create a fixed plan. We're here to revisit all of our patterns. And I know that might sound really challenging, but it's the truth. This is how the universe works. It goes over things over and over again. And we get opportunities to change things. We get opportunities to make different choices in health and intimacy issues, which is Scorpio, where we've been hurt in the past. It has to be a truthful relationship. So if you swap out God, Goddess, universe, and replace that with truth, when we align with truth, it may be a challenge. We may have to go through lots of challenges along the way in order to get there. And if I think back to my first Saturn return, and I'm experiencing my second one, I've just gone through that. It's when I had my son, and then I came here to Naples when he was around 2 years old. Didn't know I was going to live here, didn't know, I was going to create that outcome. Something that I really wanted to do back then, but then did had lots of other ideas and other ways. And but the things that I really had as goals back then were so different to what they are now. And some of them have completed and not in the way that I thought. So I am here as the only person in my family unit. You know, the rest of the family are not here now. And I did not envisage that at the time. And it's it is so amazing when you go through so many years and you look back and you see how much you've changed. And remember that the whole point really of this 13-day cycle yellow sun, the planet is Pluto, and it's twinned with blue storm. So we are looking at what needs to go. Our hell stories, our going into the underworld stories. Again, Venus has gone into Aries now, and it's moving forward, that energy. And so it's very, very powerful. Maturation, new story, new beginnings. And sometimes when our mind, our emotional mind, especially our fight, flight, or freeze, will not let go of that old world, we will find that the universe will make that happen on our behalf because it's time. So I'm wishing you a magical yellow sun wave spell. Go with the flow, go with the ride, get your tools to help you. Emotional freedom technique will help you no matter what. Let your emotions guide you. Feel it, don't eat it. And don't stuff it down with anything else either, because the wonderful thing about the feelings is we know we're alive. We know we have an amazing system on board to guide us if we pay attention to it. And often we have created a whole system to avoid that. And that means that we often don't listen to our gut instinct and our intuition. And then, hey, we fall down that pothole all over again. Doesn't matter how many years we've been on the planet, doesn't matter how wise we think we are. Remember, this is energy, this is emotion, this is resonance, this is a whole electric matrix that we're in, and whatever's within us is attracting a specific program, if you will, a trajectory. And so only by changing your assemblage point can you create a different dynamic. So learn how to do that. Check out EFT, and it's a big time. So be prepared. Lots of love. Bye for now.